Shout out to Grandma and Grandpa Clavin. I think they're back down south, but they were with us in Prior Lake. So hope you're dialing in. We were just debating that. I heard we won earlier. I don't remember anything about it, but
it must have been one of the first league games.
We got Charlie Ellickson in net tonight.
Charlie's in net, yeah.
All right.
Bit of a layoff for him. He hasn't played since the Prior Lake tournament.
So he's been off as long as I have. All right.
Yeah.
While we were away, I was traveling for work. Got a win earlier in the week against Orono.
Orono at Central.
Which sort of looked like a decent win, or not that it wasn't a decent win, but looked like a few goal win, but it was 2 late goals that kind of took it out of reach. Is that right?
2-1 heading into the third, 3-1 late. We got an empty netter, and then one at the buzzer to make it look.
All right, we're going to go with Meade, Kurth, and Altschul. Yep. See, we got Jeffers and Wilson out in front of Wilson. And puck is dropped. Here we go. Kurth plays it. Jeffers looking for Wilson near side. Wilson flips it into neutral ice. Oh, bring you with.
And pass. Short bench for Hopkins. I don't know if that's normal or if they're got guys hurt or sick.
Two lines plus a player maybe, huh?
We look like we have our normal group that we've had for...
They do pull it into zone.
A couple months.
Kurth breaks out with it, looking center ice. Has Altschul, gets it to Wilson. Wilson a little room up the near side. Wilson trying to lean in. He gets played off nicely, but he turns, finds his hands, and that fires high up and over the net. Jeffers then looking in. That gets blocked by the forward coming out to the blue line, and now they're across neutral ice. They'll dump that puck in, and Charlie, that was probably off net, huh?
A little bit. Good setup for the D, though.
All right.
Uh-oh. Good save.
Good little defense away there. Was Ellickson save.
Yep.
And we got another line in. So, let's see, probably Hasselfeld, Clavin. So we probably have Hasselfeld centering this line with Clavin and LaRose.
Yep.
Jeffers maybe hasn't got his change yet because I see Prentice in, and he will come in. Nicollet will come in. Centering pass right out front has Clavin shooting towards the crease. All right, Hasselfeld can't quite hold on. He's going to regroup here at neutral ice. Back to Prentice. Prentice to LaRose. LaRose dumps that in. He'll chase. Hasselfeld hurries in there, but Hopkins has a little breakout here. Brown comes firing in. Near side. Bunch of action in front of us there. Finally scoots out. Just a lot of ping pong. Blue line to blue line here. Finally poke one in. Kanan now in. He'll chase into the corner. Brown there to play it. Slapper out front for Nicollet. He will take that and get a change as Wilson comes back in. Jeffers holds the blue line, dumps that in, and here comes Brown into the corner. Body's up there. Wilson couldn't quite get a stick on it, so Jeffers will retreat, regroup. Dumps that one up. He could have made a play on that and didn't, so that's...
Yeah, got away with one.
Yeah. 12-12 left in the first, 0-0 early. Kanan wins it back to Jeffers. Jeffers regroups back behind his net, finding his way out. has Homstall. Homstall all the way across to Brown, streaking up the right side. Tries to chip it in a battle on the corner. Hopkins takes over, tries to chip it out. Brown back into it again. Jeffers holds. He flips a little backhander into the corner. Homstall will be on it. Homstall looking to the corner. Brown has a little room. Centering pass looking for Keenan. Nothing there. Now Wilson breaks on it, overruns it, and Hopkins goes back the other direction. Gets played off as now Jeffers carries it in. Just out of his reach and turned over temporarily, but Keenan regroups. Flips it back to Wilson. To Homstall. Brown's going to get a change. Homstall's going to take this in deep. By his guys, his line mates a little bit of time, and does. Battles his way into it as Meade joins the party. Nicollet holds the blue line. Kurth now involved. Centering pass. Kurth gets one on net and a save for Hopkins. Settled puck with 11:15 left here in the first. Meade, Altschul, and Kurth all in. That comes high up top. Prentice fires one in, gives up a rebound. Kurth on it. Can't quite get his stick free as Altschul turns it over, creates a turnover on the far. Meade, Kurth. Oh, scoots by Nicollet. Prentice is there to back him up and turn this around. We'll try the other side here. Altschul tries to chop that forward. That ricochets back at Ellickson. A little bit of zone time here for Hopkins. I'll finally cross the blue line as they regroup. Finds a little room up front. Clavin breaks. He'll win a race into the corner.
They were going to let him win that race.
You go ahead.
Yeah.
We'll try to pick up the pieces. Thanks. All right, Nicollet finds himself deep. Hasselfeld backing him up. Clavin trying to get his hands free. Out to Jeffers.
Oh,
deflected up, and it ends up loose out in front of the net. And LaRose couldn't quite turn on it. I don't know why. I don't need my leg there.
No, go for it.
All right, Hasselfeld finds it on the red line. Crosses into his own zone. Nice
good
little
look.
pass across for a one-timer to Clavin, and just doesn't quite get all of it. Hopkins will dump it in and get a change of their own. Jeffers has room. Willing to skate it up. Tries to dump it forward. Nobody there. Wilson with a hard pass across. Has Brown. Brown tries to chip it through. Does. Finds it on the other side of the blue line. Overskates it, and Hopkins will turn this around. Kanan back, regroups, has Brown. Brown on had a breakaway, just popped off his stick a little bit there. And a back check by Hopkins gets it. Now a breakaway the other way for Hopkins, and that gets deflected off. Backhander there, and saved by Ellickson. A little excitement heading one way turns into a little more excitement than we bargained for the other, as they had two scoring chances there on Charlie. Charlie shuts it down. 8:54 and a scoreless first. Center to front. Couldn't quite get anything on it. And Homstall pokes that forward. If he can get there in time to avoid that icing, he does wave that off. Brown there to help out. He gets pinned up against the boards. Kanan finds his way out, but that scoots into neutral ice. They've got time here on a change. Homstall has room up the near side. Finds one and off the blocker. He saw that near corner, and he had a nice little save for Hopkins. Hopkins wins that little race down there. Puts a little pressure on. Trojans dump it out. It does get just out of zone, and that was almost a fortunate offsides there as Brown was breaking, had a little bit of room out in front of him. Fresh change coming here with Meade, Kurth, and Altschul. Jeffers and Wilson in front of Ellickson. Ends up on the red line for Hopkins. Jeffers to Wilson. Can't quite play it, but he chips it forward to Ulchel right in front of us. Ends up back to Jeffers. Jeffers going to try back to Ulchel. Ends up putting it right on the stick there, and a save for Ellickson. Ellickson covers. Jeffers getting some instruction there. It may have been.
You know, I like when they.
You got to help your goalie out there, right?
You do. And good for the ref for letting him do that, but then also saying, hey, like, here's what I'm going to call.
Yep.
Here's what I won't call.
Mead on the draw. Wilson breaks on it. Pops it out, and Jeffers with room. They've got numbers coming down. Jeffers carries it across the blue line. He dumps it in. That ends up on goal, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
kick that over the
forward,
corner.
looking for a rebound. And that finds its way out. Wilson chops it in. Off a stick, deflected. Mead turns back to Ulchel.
There it is.
All right, Kurth in the far corner. Ulchel turns and spins and fires one in. Kurth there finds a turnover deep. Kurth working back behind the net. Trying to find a little space. Gets hung up in his skates. And Wilson holds it up. That does pop out. And Jeffers across the line. Throws it on net and save for Hopkins. 6:40 left here in the first, and a scoreless first so far. Prentice tries to poke one through, played out by Hopkins, ends up back and forth here across neutral ice and finally into Trojan territory as Nicollet retreats. Works one out, has Clavin to Hasselfelt, avoids some contact, but ends up just out of his reach and turned over to Hopkins. Shot on, save for Ellickson. Big rebound and a deflection out, and Hopkins regroups in their territory. Onto neutral ice. Nicollet dumped that one in, and we'll get a center ice draw out of that offsides. 6:01 left here in the first, 0-0. Hasselfelt wins it back to Nicollet. Nicollet looking for Prentice. Turned over to Hopkins as Nicollet rolls through it, though. Now it's Clavin. Clavin, a little hot off his stick, ends up willing it through neutral ice. A little kick save there for Prentice. And Prentice looking for Clavin again. Can't play it on the far boards. And Hopkins has it just for a bit, and LaRose turns it around across the red line. He gets pulled off the boards there. Good little body by a small player there.
Yeah,
Let's
he
shut
knows how
that
to
down.
use it.
Yep. Hopkins flips one in. That, I saw the net wiggle there. I was off the backside of the net. No sound?
There we go.
Clavin backhand.
Toss it up.
Oh. Well, I'm regrouping. I'm not sure if we've got sound. I tried to redo my audio. We'll play around with it and try to get back online here. 4:24 left in the first, and it's scoreless. Redo my audio. We'll play around with it and try to get back online here. 4:24. Okay. Left in the first, and it's scoreless.
Test.
Yours is not working?
I don't know. I haven't said anything since you kicked back in. Oh, all right.
Okay.
We're good.
Shot on and save for Hopkins. So, sorry, you haven't missed any scoring. You've heard me talking to basically the people around us, I guess.
I don't know. I think that was some of our best work that first
It
8
is.
minutes.
Yeah, it's only downhill from here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's scoreless first. We've had decent zone time and a few shots on, but
Pretty even, though.
yep,
Hopkins
it's been a solid
some
skate
good
because they've had some good
opportunities.
opportunities too, with a couple good saves for Alex and Plinko back in. Kanan deep has find himself a little bit of space out front to Brown. Brown gets on it. Homstall poking around nearby. Brown tries to exit back to Wilson, turned over, and now Hopkins working their way through neutral ice. Caught up by Jeffers. Jeffers active today. He's had the puck on a stick a bunch, looking good. Scoots that out. Now Homstall. Homstall's got speed on this far side, chips that in. Kanan will chase into the far corner as Hopkins retreats from their first on it. Brown picks it up. Snapper up, on, and covered. Good save there as Brown picked up a loose puck. Fired it in, kind of put it right on his chest or under his
He's been
chin.
in good position all night so far and swallowed up everything we've thrown.
Big kid. He fills up some net in there.
Yep.
He's looking really good. Meade now wins one back. That is flipped on by Prentice. Kind of whiffed on the first one, but got hit it the second time. Got it on goal, and we'll regroup here. And Meade will take this draw again. He's flanked by Altschul and Kurth. Ends up into the corner. Played initially by Wayzata, pinned off the boards by Kurth. Down to the near side. Oh, nice squirt out. Has a chance to regroup, but turned over and back by Hopkins. Kurth plays it over to Nicollet. Turned over to Hopkins. Prentice will regroup back behind his net. Chops one out.
Okay.
And now Meade with space. Two-man game coming up. Meade working his way across. Flips one in. That misses wide. He's back on his own rebound, however, behind the net, trying to dangle and find a little bit of room. It actually scoots across the front of the net, and Hopkins exits. Turned around by Meade again. They're making quick changes, and they only got the two lines there, so we've kind of had opportunities to kind of catch them in those quick changes because I think they can't really wait around for optimal timing if they're going to keep kids fresh.
All right.
All right, Clavin controls. Has room to skate. Nobody really with them there. Turns that back over to Hopkins, and Hopkins in. Clavin poke checks one away. A couple bodies on the ice on the far side. That gets chopped in, hits the net, so avoids an icing there. And LaRose plays it. Little hot out front. We'll have to regroup here across the red line as Jeffers turns one over, and a bit of a breakaway here. Hard hustle back by both Hasselfeld and Wilson. That sounded rough. I didn't really see what happened there. Hasselfeld kind of went into the
Crashed
boards.
into the board.
Okay. No worse for the wear.
No, I think he's
Wilson
all right.
scoots out with it. Nope. Offsides is Hasselfeld got just across the blue line there, or couldn't quite get back across the blue line there as LaRose dumps it in. Fresh set of skaters coming here as Prentice and Nicollet come in at D with Kane and Brown and Homstall at forward. Brown there to slow things down. Does turn it around. Fires one over. Has Homstall and a little banking pass to Kanan. Can't quite get that through. Nicollet now powers it through himself. Into the corner himself as he takes it deep. Homstall will back him up. Scoots it forward looking for Kanan. Has a little room up front. Tries to dump that back down. Brown then plays it behind the net. Homstall. Nicollet. And that exits out. Prentice will retreat. The Royals will get a change. And Prentice, with speed, carries it up. Finds his way deep. Looking for a little bit of help. Skates that all the way around. Good control there as he's working his way in. Backhander, bouncing puck. I don't know if he saw that. And that
caught a stick and went behind him.
And ended up just missing wide right on that backhand.
That would have been quite the individual effort there.
Nicollet fires one on. That ends up wide. Kanan on it. And that is the end of the first. And a scoreless first. Not a huge, maybe an edge in shots.
Small.
And maybe a little bit of zone time, but this is a even skate. The boys got to come alive here a little bit, I think.
You missed the Orono game, but this is
what we did.
Lot like it. Yeah.
Not taking control when we can or should.
Yeah. Other, Orono that last weekend and Hopkins now playing good hockey.
Yep.
I mean,
and we've kind of said this in other games where we think we should win handily. You let them hang around for a quarter, confidence builds, and suddenly those tired legs don't feel so tired, and you can get back into this game. So,
big period here. Take control.
We've talked over and over, slow starting, and I think when we harped on it enough, it was one of those tournament games we just fired out and scored like 3 or 4 first period goals. That was not a trend.
No,
that was the anomaly.
Yeah.
So, but maybe we can start hot here in the second and find that lead.
Yeah. Weather the first, game picks up as we go.
Jeffers and Wilson will start on the blue line out in front of Ellickson, Brown, and Homstall on either side of Kanan taking this draw. Hopkins carries it forward with some initial control, but Homstall turns it around, scoots that forward, finds his way all the way down to the net, and Kanan is back on it with him. Looking for Brown. Brown can't quite handle it, but does control it back behind the net, has Homstall. Shut down on that far side by Wilson. Kanan there with it. A couple of Trojans games. Kanan finds his way out, dangles his way around, looking near side. Just must have been nothing there as he sealed that corner up. Kanan controls again. Now looking for a wraparound opportunity, nothing there. And again fires in, and a brilliant save. Snagged with the glove up and over what could have been his left shoulder, and after a bunch of pressure makes a great save off Kanan's stick. Couple opportunities there for Kanan as we start this second. 14-12 remaining. Mead, Kurth, and Ulchel in. That gets flipped in. Nicollet pulling out in front. Ulchel got a stick on it, and just not quite enough to direct that on goal. That would have had that one would have had a chance. You get a hot goalie, those tips are kind of what you need sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Something weird, something bouncing. Because it seems to be, he's seeing it pretty well.
Yeah.
Kurth gets hung up in the boards.
Leave the Fisher.
Oh!
Good pressure to start the second period, though.
Yeah, I think we're putting a little bit on him here. Just a minute and a half in. And we put a little heat on. It's time to keep that heat on as Mead's trying to work his way up the near side. Hopkins with their first real possession here in the second. Has it deep in the near corner. A trio of Trojans trying to chip it out. And Hopkins actually has it out in front.
Yeah.
Oh, screen. That. Never saw that.
I could tell Charlie was never going to find that puck because there were too many bodies.
Prentice looking for Ulchel. Prentice again has it. Flips it over. Nicollet to Kurth to Mead. Has him in stride. Near side. Flips it on, around.
Yeah.
And goal! Mead with an all-out effort there. Finds his way out, chips it past an initial defender, comes across the middle, gets an initial save, finds a rebound, and eventually poked it in. So,
Fighting off a goalie and 2 defensemen all at the same time.
all right, Mead unassisted as he
No,
carried
no.
that. Was that
Play off the boards here.
who was that to? So who
Fisher.
do we? Oh, Kurth.
Yep.
We're gonna go Kurth to Mead. Mead brings that one home, and a 1-goal lead here for the Trojans. As we've got Hasselfeld out front with LaRose and Clavin either side. Jeffers looks for it, ends up just getting past him, but he beats his forward to the puck. Plays it over to Wilson. Wilson trying to skate out with it, back on his stick, looking for a little help. Has it from LaRose. But played back in right out front by Hopkins, but turned around as Hasselfeld regroups. Trying to get things spread out a little bit. Gives it up to Jeffers. Jeffers to Wilson in his skates. Turned over a little deep there for Hopkins, and they make a drive in on the net. We'll flat-footed all of a sudden here.
Yeah.
Now Wilson working up the near side. Has it through neutral ice, across the blue line. Good little bit of stick handling there. Finds his way in, finds his way to a pad blocker there. And Hopkins working his way out. Jeffers with a little room. High looping shot up and over the goalie's head. Nicollet plays it to Jeffers. Clavin chips it into the corner. Trying to kick it free. Hasselfeld has it, turns. Nope. Hasselfeld regroups, comes back around, has Clavin now. Clavin looking for a little room. Active defender back there, kind of shutting any of that behind the net nonsense down, and they play that out to Nicollet. Nicollet tries to dump it back into Clavin. Clavin looking for a breaking forward. Just nobody home.
Oh.
Thought Prentice could play it.
I agree, but
They gave one earlier on that.
Yeah.
Nice little lead pass out. Has Brown. Brown looks all the way across there for Homstall. Homstall can't play it. Hopkins turns that around here. One toe drag works. The second one he gets hung up on there, and Hopkins turns that around. Prentice on it. Turns that around by Nicollet. Offsides, all right. 10-21 and a 1-goal lead for the Trojans. It'd be nice to put another one or two in here and make this feel just a little more comfortable. Hopkins House controls initially off that draw. Prentice plays it around, looking for Homstall. Homstall, the saucer, has Brown. Can't deal with it off his skates. He's got to find a way to play that. He's got all kinds of room up the right side, and a streaking Kanan coming in at center. And it bounced off his skate just right to offsides himself there,
I
or
don't
what?
know if I agree with the offsides, but maybe the ref saw something I didn't.
Hopkins controls. Dangerous little floater there. Gets all the way to Alex and the save. Just under 10 minutes left here in the second. Oh. That ends up in the bench, and so we'll get a fresh set of skaters with Jeffers and Wilson in. Mead, Kurth, and Altschul in it forward. 9:40 left. Little magic number 2 here from this line. They got the 1 goal in. Be fun to see them punch another one in here, which approaching the midpoint of this one.
I might say they were our best line in the first period, most offensive zone time.
They seemed active, and Altschul had a good shot at it. That flips high and up as Wilson puts a heavy one on. Jeffers slides one in, maybe looking for a bit of a deflection there. Wilson turns one around, and Hopkins plays it. Good work here by Jeffers. As he slows that down, Wilson has Altschul. Altschul Shovels one up to Kurth. Kurth goes down hard. Somehow and all that ended up being icing. I didn't. There's so many
there's a lot of
people
things
in the
going
middle there
on,
that I
and-
didn't.
Yeah, I kind of lost track of the puck. There we go.
Kurth finds a way on his stick. Finds Altschul. Kind of pieces it all the way through there. Altschul trying to find Mead coming through, but it gets hung up here right at center ice. Looks like Hopkins is going to skate away with it. Not so much, though, as Mead breaks on it. All right, Jeffers has Kurth. Kurth near side, skating his way through. Has Altschul, puts it on his stick to Mead. Mead tries to work it through. Good defensive play there. Shuts down that pass to the center, Mead. Kurth back on it. Altschul pumps that one in. Back to Kurth. Hopkins turns that around and Nicollet into the far side. Nicollet finds his hands free, rips one by. Kurth will play it now in the near boards. Finds its way to Nicollet, who dumps that back in. Hopkins has it. Those long arms of Nicollet turn it around, but Hopkins skates through with it. All right, Clavin, Hasselfeld, and LaRose now in.
Good job, Ari.
Jeffers works his way through. Bouncing puck, gloved and saved by Hopkins. Jeffers continues to skate strong. He's had the puck on his hands, turns a lot of things around here. Nicollet and Prentice now in as he gets a break. Hasselfeld will take this draw with Clavin and LaRose on either side. Plays it to Clavin, and that gets deflected up and into the nets. My broadcast partner's got the Night at the Roxbury head bob going.
The music here is spot on. I'd say Spice Girls earlier. Like I've been transported.
All right, Trojans regroup. Nicollet fires one across, looking for LaRose, just out of his reach. Hopkins will win the race back there, but it's held at the blue line nicely by Prentice. Prentice skates it in, finds a little room, chops it into the far corner. Clavin will work his way on it, does get it on his stick, can't quite get a shot off. Hasselfeld picks it up, skates around back, gets pinned into the far side, but maintains some control. Does finally get free, flips it out to Nicollet. Nicollet looking for a little room. He gets held up. Nicollet, though, holding control, turns, fires, looks around.
Oh.
Another shot as he got it back to himself, centering passes. Nobody quite punch one in, and it's played off nicely by Hopkins' defense and goalie there. Turned around at the red line as Nicollet dumps that in. That is going to be pad saved off just to the right side. All right, first power play of the day goes to Hopkins here as Clavin goes into the box. I don't know. I looked away, so interference or roughing?
Or something. I gave him a rough.
Roughing. All right, power play for the Royals with 6:08 left. A couple minutes to kill here. Tom Stahl. Oh, sharp shot right off the draw there, and a save for Ellickson. Just 3 seconds in, and they fired one on. Controlled by Hopkins. Homstall on it, held by Hopkins here as Jeffers plays it. Tries to chop it forward. A little bit of danger out front there, but Wilson closes on it. Hopkins flips another one in. That gives up a big pad rebound, but Hopkins holds the blue line. Centering pass. Turned around, flipped up in the air, gloved, saved. Besky keeping this one in. Probably in the
good flip.
little pressure there from Homstall, at least slowing things down as Kanan was on that one. That could have been shorty material, but now they're going to skate this through neutral ice. Flip that in. That ends up wide for Ellickson. Jeffers does skate it free in a 2-on-1 situation. Chips it forward to Homstall. Homstall, I don't know if that get deflected. That just go high right up off.
Went high.
Had a little bit of space there. Nice little shot on.
Yeah.
And Homstall scores! Short-hander call there. Good combination between Kane and firing it across ice. Has Homstall near side and pumps that one in. Short-handed goal. 31 seconds remain in the power play here.
Homstall was just standing alone for 8-10 seconds.
He got it and he put it home.
Jack was finally drew 3 defensemen over and got him the puck.
Brown scoots that out to Mead from Prentice. And Mead navigating his way all the way through. Finally, that last defender is the one that slows things down. Not for long as Mead's still back on it. Talk a lot about his motor, but can't be overstated.
Yeah.
All right, even strength as Clavin comes out of the box. Ulchel fires off the bench, and we're all even here. Prentice will regroup. 3:50 left here in the second. And that comes out. Brown trying to break free, just can't quite get his stick on it. That gets touched up by Brown. Brown's going to get a rest as the forecheck pressure comes on. Slightly overrun there as Prentice has everybody's back and slows this one down. Tries to fire one across to Ulchel. Ulchel eventually gets it. Looking for a short little pass there to Kurth breaking through, but can't quite get through to him. Now Nicollet chops it up. Ulchel pushes that into zone. And a fluttering puck will be played by Ellickson. Prentice finds Kurth. Can't control that at the blue line, and Hopkins turns that back in. Mead backs him up and gets it back to neutral ice as they regroup out here at the red line. Pressure by Ulchel. Hopkins getting deeper into zone, finds a little breakout opportunity, albeit temporarily, as Nicollet throws that on, and it is covered. 2:36 left. Maybe just working our way back to a normal rotation here as LaRose, Hasselfeld, and Clavin back in. Wilson along with Jeffers. Hopkins rattles that around. Jeffers holds on that far blue line. Had to race over there for it. But Hopkins finally punches that out. Gets hung up on the boards here temporarily. And finally scoots free with it. Hasselfeld hustling through. Jeffers back with it. Nice little turnaround there. And finds it over to Wilson. Wilson draws a little contact at the red line and skates that in himself. Does try to dangle through, pokes it into the far corner as Jeffers plays it. We got two defensemen deep. Wilson gets back, Hasselfeld on it. Hasselfeld controlling out front. Wilson to Jeffers. Turned around by Hopkins, and they dump that out through neutral ice. Jeffers will retreat. He finds it over to Wilson. Wilson gets hung up there at the blue line, and Hopkins dumps it in. They're looking for a change. Ed LaRose kind of all alone out front for a little while, caught in that change, but they couldn't quite get free to do anything with it. Now Clavin controls back behind, finds himself with a little room in the slot, and a shot and save right out front. Kanan on the draw. Brown plays it in the corner. They got Homstall back behind the net waiting along with Nicollet and Prentice out at the blue line. Finally, Kanan comes free with it. Then Brown gets a piece of it. Finds Nicollet out front. Little room. Deflected immediately back behind. Centering pass by Kanan. Nobody really home, but backhands over by Brown looking for Homstall. Nothing there again. Brown holds right out front. Puck sitting out front. Can't quite get a stick on it. Brown skates free, gets pulled down there as Homstall goes down back behind it. Kanan involved as well. All three forwards chipping away at it, and Kanan comes free with it with a little bit of space. Back to Brown. Back to Kanan. Working a little offense around. Has it back behind the net. Up front, looking into the crease, has Prentice. Kanan gets free. Oh, looking for Brown on the slot. Had him, just couldn't quite get it free. As Brown works it back out to Prentice. Prentice flips one in. That deflected wide, and that's the end of the second.
Good shift to finish.
Good little shift. I don't know that there was even a shot on goal and all of that, but
a lot of
scoring chances. Just nothing gets on net. All right. 2-goal lead here into the third.
I think they reflected the play. Did a nice job of keeping control in the offensive zone, getting more on net.
Yeah, it felt a
away
little
from
more.
Charlie.
Felt a little more controlled there. We never really heard from Gauthier again, did we?
No.
Somebody that I used to know. Is that what this is? Right?
Yeah.
They were a one-hit wonder. It was all the rage, though. What,
it was huge.
12 years ago?
Everybody loved the video.
Yep. I don't know if you've ever followed. It also sort of launched the career of a cover band out of Canada called Walk Off the Earth.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You ever see those guys?
I like
And I think they have their own. They're really, it's wildly talented to the point where, like, I think their cover of this and their cover of a lot of songs are better than the originals. They're super talented.
I like their Wrecking Ball.
Yep.
Miley Cyrus cover quite a bit.
Mead, Ulchel, Kurth. Right back at it. Little fire coming out of the Royals here initially as the Trojans regroup. Ulchel patiently finds Kurth. Can't get a stick on it, but it ends up at the red line, and pressure by Kurth at least slows things down right on the red line. He's got a little help from Mead, who punches it free, but Hopkins is able to dump and chase here. Jeffers will win the race to it, however, and try to find a way to dissect those folks out. And a nice little chip pass up. Has Ulchel on it. Kurth picks it up off a good play there, and it ends up back to Ulchel. Ulchel controls, dumps that in, and Mead will find it along with a Hopkins skater in the far corner. Mead does skate free with it. Ulchel, Kurth involved. Kurth with a check back behind the net. Jeffers to Kurth. Kurth looking for a toe drag there. He gets hung up. Now Hopkins trying to exit out. Ends up on Jeffers' stick. On to Mead. Mead works his way all the way in, takes a huge hit. Clavin works his way all the way through, skates it deep from that other end, tries to get a little wrister off, ends up not on it. Good close there on the Hopkins defense to shut that down, and they're trying to find a exit out of their own zone, and they're going to get it through neutral ice, across the red line, and enter the Trojan territory. And a little wrister there, save, and a rebound off of Ellickson. Overrun in a slush there.
Good play.
Now LaRose near side. Hasselfelt ends up back to Hopkins. And a wrister there. And a save by Ellickson. 12:31 left in the third in the game. 24 minutes on the clock. There just hasn't been a lot of stops, so we should be just fine on that.
We've been rolling. It's been nice.
One penalty, I think, still. Is that?
Yeah. What you want out of an 8:30 puck drop?
Yeah. All right, Kanan back in along with Hasselfelt and Brown. Prentice and Nicklet will be your defenders. Brown just maybe a smidge behind Homstall there as he looks hard for that cross-ice pass to work his way up. Ooh, deflected puck out front. Dangerous, but nicely played out by Prentice. Prentice finds Homstall near side. Homstall takes it deep. Ooh, looking to try to dangle his way in. Does find it back behind the net, however. Kanan goes down, trying to work his way out. Wilson on it. Hard bounce off. Finds Hasselfelt all the way through. Looking for Kanan. Turned over. Regroup up front to Jeffers. To Brown. Brown finds his way to Kanan. Brown with a little bit of room. Looking for a change. Looks for a snapper, and that goes high up and over the top. 11-12 left here in the third. That came all the way back to neutral ice, and Homstall is going to skate this in. Does actually have his way through, and he's going to draw a trip into the corner, and that will be whistled, and we'll get our first chance at the man-up power play here with 12:55 left.
Carson earned that one.
Mead, Curtis, and Altschul, along with Wilson and Jeffers, looking to add to a 2-goal lead here in this power play. Mead finds it on his stick, turns, fires, and that goes high. Jeffers has a little bit of room out front. He's going to skate that in. Little bouncer can't find its way in. A lot of traffic there.
Got to move that to the middle.
You got to get people moving around a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sure Hopkins is content to let us kill some time, but Mead looks to skate free with it. Out front, in come. Now Jeffers got a little room. And that fires wide to the left. Wrap around there. Had Altschul standing out front. Just kind of handcuffed him there a little bit. Jeffers turns it around.
Good play.
Altschul with room up the left side, turns, fires, and a blocker save by the Hopkins goalie. Rips it up, has Jeffers. Jeffers flips one in, and those little bouncing pucks off the edge are
This can be dangerous.
interesting. And there's a deflector, and just flips his stick out there, and another fantastic save for the Hopkins goalie with just inside 10 minutes left and 1 minute left on this power play for the Trojans. LaRose has it up front, gets poked away by Hopkins. Nicollet retreats, finds his way across, has Clavin. Clavin with room on the doorstep, rips one. Hard to see how much he saw there, but it looked like there was some net open for him.
I don't think he missed by much.
They kind of let him walk that one in. Clavin plays it into the corner. Prentice skates his way in. He's got a little backup here from LaRose. Just 15 seconds remain in this power play. As Prentice works his way across, finds Nicollet. Nicollet drives, hard shot. Nice save again by Hopkins, and that levels things up. All square here, just inside 9 minutes.
They needed a break after that penalty kill.
Yep. All right. Wilson and Jeffers are your defenders with this group. Brown and Homstall on either side of Kanan. Kanan will take this draw deep in Royal territory. Does play it out. Homstall controls. Back to Kanan's stick. Tries to scoot it through. Brown there to play it, but ends up getting poked back out to neutral ice and played by Jeffers. Hopkins turns that around. Kanan finds a little room, works his way out to Homstall. Homstall rips one high up and over the net. If the net were a foot or two higher, I think we'd have several more goals.
They all think they see some space over that
like to rip
blocker shoulder, but I don't think it's there.
It's the infatuation with bar down, I think, that happens.
Cross ice.
Homstall tries to power one through, had Wilson far side. That's going to ice and come back. 7:51 left and fresh forwards. Fresh everybody. Nope, just fresh forwards come in. We've got Mead with Altschul and Kurth on either side. Jeffers and Wilson will remain. Just 7:51 left here in the third. Mead works his way through it. Kurth comes off his wing and pushes one back behind the net, and Hopkins turns it around temporarily however, as Wilson plays it. But first skater to that is a Royal. Altschul, though, back on it, and the Trojans take it into territory. And they poke that free. And a little bit of numbers here, a 3-on-2. 2-on-1 as that flips up. Played off by Jeffers. Jeffers on the stick of Kurth. Right across again to Altschul. Altschul's going to hold up and regroup. Nice little pass up. And that's going to get iced as couldn't quite get a chip on that. Yep. Yeah. Clavin and LaRose, along with Hasselfeld, will be in. Prentice and Nicollet back on D in front of Ellickson. Nicollet plays that out of his own zone. Chops it forward. LaRose finds his way to Clavin, plays his body just enough, and a centering pass across.
Good play.
Could not quite get on it as LaRose was there.
Got away with one.
We did or they did?
Yeah, Bennett held him up, kind of interfered.
LaRose looking for Hasselfeld. Prentice right on the stick of Clavin. Gets poked back by Hopkins, but picked up by Hasselfeld. Hasselfeld
Oh.
takes it deep. Throws everything at him. Nicollet comes in and hits the pipe on the near side.
That was
finds
square.
it off his own rebound, plays it deep into the corner. Prentice on the breakout turns things back around, back behind his own net, and is going to work his way into zone. Got nobody in front of him. Skates it forward all the way in. Does find his way around the right side. He chips that one in, and that'll actually be held up and covered.
Maybe starting to see some fatigue on Hopkins
Yeah,
setting in.
which is pretty
and-
understandable at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah, I was going to say.
They skated pretty lean, and they've hung in there. All right, Kanan with the draw. Hamstall and Brown on either side. Dangle up
Good
top
tip.
as Wilson pushes one in. Kanan regroups into the corner. Brown picks it up. Can't quite chip it in, but he gets it back on his stick. Leans one in backhanded. On to Kanan. Kanan chops one. Brown on the doorstep. Puck's all over and finally covered by the Hopkins goalie. 4:46 left. Lots going on in front there, but
Yeah, 3 saves it looks
Yep.
like at least.
Kanan wins, plays to himself. Brown finds his way to it, chops it in. Hopkins tries to break out. And the stick held up there as Brown tries to scoop free. Does finally. Hamstall chops it into himself, playing it into the corner. Has a little bit of help in there. Kanan doing everything he can to get his hands free there. And the swarm of Royals turns that around, but Brown fires one up. Has Hamstall near side. Good little poke check slows that progress down. Just inside 4 minutes left in the third. That fire's just out of reach of Hamstall as the Royals play it through neutral ice. They get it deep. The smooth gliding Nicollet closes on that. And Kurth picks it up. Looks to skate it out. Gets to Hamstall. Hamstall chips it forward back to Kurth. Back to Hopkins out at the blue line. They chip that in. Played back off the back glass by Ellickson. Nice pass across. Kurth looking for Kanan. Kanan turns, fires, and that goes wide. Maybe off a blocker. I don't
Yeah.
know, to catch something.
Caught something
Thought I
along the
heard
way.
something in there. Now it comes in and Altschul fires, believe it or not, high. High and up and over the top. Altschul turns that around. 2 minutes. You can see an empty net here at some point. They got to get a.
Got to do it now.
They got to
get
get
it out.
They got to get a possession, right?
Yeah.
Or get a yeah.
They haven't really had control in our zone in the early parts of the period.
What is? Every coach is a little different, right? So it's anywhere probably inside 2.5 to.
When you're down 2, you got to
go earlier, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
You can do 3, 4. There they go.
Yep. Here's the empty net for the Trojans. They do have possession out front. Altschul chips that forward.
Waved off. Good touch. Smart.
Nicollet across the blue line. Ooh, I don't think they saw that. Deep is Clavin. To Mead.
There it is.
Hey! On the doorstep is Altschul from Mead.
Yeah.
right place, right time. You got to put that baby home, and Altschul Mead extends to a 3-goal lead just inside 2 minutes here for the Trojans.
Mead's motor created that turnover.
He did.
And everybody was in the right spot.
Yep. If I followed along earlier in the week, I think that's 2 goals in as many games for Everett.
He kicked us off against Orono. It was 0-0
so
when he took a nice rifter over the goalie's glove.
All right. Hopkins punches it in. Trojans trying to get it out. 140, 130 remains here. And Wilson with room. Does dangle his way free, turns. Good recovery there by the Royals as he had a little bit of space for a bit. Turned around by Jeffers to Clavin. And the Rose pressures. Clavin has it. Up on the doorstep. Good pressure back there by Hopkins as Clavin turns and fires deep from that side. Wilson tried to hold it on the blue line there. Does actually poke itself free. Wilson shuts that down. Just a minute remain. As Hasselfeld finds Clavin. Clavin holds up at the blue line. Dumps it in. Willing to kill time up front, but Hasselfeld pops free with it. Centering pass out had Hasselfeld. Homstall had Hasselfeld out in front of the crease. It's still out there. Nicollet breaks on it. That's 20 seconds left. Nicollet to Brown. Brown flips one in. There's another save. Padding some goalie stats at this point. I'm going to fire him in.
That's all right. He deserves it.
Yeah, he had a nice game. Buchanan holds that up, and that's the end. Thanks for joining me. I don't even know what we got. Oh,
4:30 up in Maple Grove.
Tomorrow at Maple Grove, we will be back. So,
yeah.
Thanks for tuning